Hey guys, I'm back with another studio update that no one asked for in today's episode of When Will I Learn? So all I came in to do today was put these up. I've mounted the screens to the wall and I've got the desk a little bit clearer so that I can put the keyboard on it. And the computer can just, the laptop can just sort of live folded up, and hopefully at some point get a desktop of some variety. This place is a work in progress. There's a lot to do on it. I quite like doing these updates because they are making me actually do the work and not just put it off, because I feel like I'm throwing it out there. What I really wanted to talk about today was Instagram and Vero. So you've heard of Vero. You remember it? It was there for like a week. It was shit. It was really shit. I first heard about it because of Max Joseph.
Hi, I'm Max Joseph. I'm the co-host and cameraman on the show Catfish.
So I actually found it in December, but obviously it was no good because no one else was on it, so I left it pretty dormant. Now it doesn't even work. It just crashes every time I try and open it, which is really annoying. So I put some content on there. I quite enjoyed just the act of putting content on. It's still not, it's not working. And that brings me to why it's significant, or at least why I think it is in some way significant. Hey, it started again. So what did I get up to? Probably like 101 followers, and that has been fluctuating up and down because I've not actually been using it. But I still get some likes and stuff. I liked some of the stuff about it. I mean, it's just a really ugly app though. Because so many people were interested in it, it went towards showing Instagram that people can vote with their feet. And although it is a failed attempt, unlike what was kind of seen with Twitch and YouTube, where Twitch is actually dragging some big names over there and they're sort of stating. The problem was with this that Vero failed really quickly, and it failed because of all that stuff with the sort of suspect founding money, which after having read into, yes, he earned his money with that company, but it seems like he maybe wasn't there when said company did bad things. So I don't know, I'm not willing to research it enough to really sort of tell you one way or another. I just think the outcry to delete your account that came from people who sort of discovered his dodgy dealings. And if you don't know what I'm on about, I'll link to some stuff about it below because I can't be asked going into it. People jumped ship because of that, but people also jumped ship because it was shit. And it was shit because it didn't anticipate how many people would be using it. And it hit big quite quickly. 3 million people downloaded it or something like that. 1 million active users-ish, depending on which source you look to. But it failed. End of. And if it had pushed through a little bit further, I think it would have made Instagram really rethink where they're at. Not be scared, because, you know, if they've got enough money behind them to weather any storm. And then it was funny, after a couple of days after the whole Vero sort of thing, I started to see kind of talk of Instagram going back to a chronological feed. Didn't happen, but hold on a sec, I'll find out the details. So on Instagram there was a guy who seemingly worked for Instagram, and he put some notes in his stories kind of basically saying that he was having Instagram test a chronological feed on him. Maybe he was, and maybe it just didn't roll out, or maybe it will roll out at some point in the future. But it goes to show that maybe they were kind of watching people sort of start to jump ship, because as much as people have been complaining recently, they're still on Instagram. You know, they're still using it. the idea that Instagram could go backwards, go back in time to a simpler time, it's just not one that's going to work. They're going to push forward, and I just saw today that they're bringing shopping, so like kind of Depop type shopping to the Instagram feed. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but almost inevitably it'll work somewhat well enough to keep going and probably keep getting better, and you know, it may be a good thing. You know, there's a lot of people I know who sell through Etsy and things like that. I sold through Etsy in the past myself. Maybe it's a great thing for them. Maybe it's a terrible thing. Who knows? How with these changes going forward to sort of play the system, or at least try and play the system. I'm not very good at it, but I've done the research for you guys. Some really great resources out there. I've just kind of brought them together. I'm going to simplify them for you now. Let's find where my notes are. Hashtags are kind of the foundation of Instagram. You know, they tie everything together. It's what it runs on. And throughout the time that it's been about, the hashtags have changed, and the way that they're used, and the way that they're sort of judged, and the way they're shown to you has all changed. So one of the newest things has been you being able to follow hashtags. I really, really like that. There's only a couple that I follow because, you know, it can get a little confusing. There's some hashtags for lenses that I really like. So the lens that I'm actually using at the moment, before I bought it, followed that hashtag for ages, just seeing what people were doing with it, seeing like, just, you know, doing my due diligence on my research. Last year, or maybe the year before, the whole shadow banning thing was hitting people quite hard. You still are going to get hit by that if you keep posting the same hashtags for each thing, because it just starts to look spammy, and Instagram doesn't want that. But you can still use hashtags. Obviously, you can still use them. You can still use them to your advantage. But with people being able to follow specific hashtags, what they can also do, and this is something you've got to kind of watch out for, they can, and I'll show you, they can go to a hashtag that they're following. If something pops up for that, you can go to the little 3 dots thing, and you can say, don't show for this hashtag. And so basically, that's kind of like a sort of mild way of reporting it. And what happens is if your image gets flagged too much like that, potentially you're going to feel some pain. So it's still all about hashtags, but you can't spam people with them, because now you've got this sort of extra mechanism for reporting. There is a service that you can use called Later. So I hadn't really looked into Later too much before this video. I just looked at one of its features. So I'm just going to quickly give you a little run through of what it actually is and what it does. It's basically a web app that you need a phone app to actually work with Instagram. You can use it with other services like Pinterest and Facebook, Twitter. Use it with a lot of stuff. And basically you open it up, you sign in, sign up, whatever, and you get this calendar view, and you can upload stuff at one side, and it'll kind of live there. What you can then do is drag it in to where you want to post, like what time, what day you want to post. You can caption it, night shooting in CR. You've got this option for saved captions as well. So this means you can actually create sets of hashtags in there saved, so that you can use them again. Putting up another shot that's night shooting, low light, some light streaks, that kind of stuff, you can just click on that, it's going to bring it straight in, which is really handy, because what you can then do is set up loads of these, and you can build a resource for yourself of hashtag groups, so you don't keep using the same ones again and again. So I've taken up enough of your time with this video already, But I just wanted to hit you with a couple of quick tips for hashtagging. First one, don't use gimmicky ones. Hashtag love has got over 1 million uses already. It's not going to help you out. Use hashtags that are relevant to you specifically. Use ones that represent communities that you're either part of or want to be part of. Having a business account is great because it gives you all sorts of extra analytics that you just don't get otherwise. You can see insights on each photo. You can see overall insights, so you can find out when you should post, when you're using the right hashtags, all sorts of stuff like that. And the two biggest tips that will help you grow on any social media is be part of the conversation, be a genuine version of yourself, and just interact with other people. And the other one is interact with people in the real world. Make friends in the real world, and that'll come back in a big way. Thanks for watching, guys. I know it's been a long one. I'll see you later.
Yeah.